have so much speculation right now about Avengers Endgame, about what's going to happen, about time travel, about alternate realities, Thanos becoming good, a greater threat coming in. There's a lot, and I think that for the most part, as a fandom, we pretty much believe that we're right about these plot points for Avengers Endgame. Specifically that the Avengers will go back in time or to different realities and collect their own Infinity Stones and forge their own Infinity Gauntlet. But what if we are just completely wrong? What if Avengers Endgame is not what we think it's about? After all, the Russo brothers did say that. They said we have no idea what's going to happen in Avengers Endgame and that it's not what we think. Now, the Russo brothers tell little white lies sometimes to keep us from knowing what's going to happen in the movies, but what if they're telling the truth? And what if Avengers Endgame is actually about the 7th Infinity Stone? Not a lot of people know about the 7th Infinity Stone, or otherwise known as the Ego Gem in the comics, and that's because it's kind of a mystery. But in this video, I'll explain exactly what the 7th Infinity Stone is, how it ties in with the other Infinity Stones and defeating Thanos, the greater threat that's supposed to come, and the Quantum Realm. So, in the comics there was an omnipotent being called Nemisis. And Nemisis eventually got tired of her own existence, so she willed herself to shatter into 6 Infinity Stones and a 7th Infinity Stone containing her consciousness. Now, not much is really known about the 7th Infinity Stone or Ego Stone, but there are two main things that we do know. One is that in the comics, the 7th Infinity Stone is hidden in an unknown realm known as the Ultraverse. And two is that when the 7th Infinity Stone comes in contact with the other Infinity Stones, Nemisis will be reborn. So there are a few connections here that could link Nemisis and the 7th Infinity Stone to Avengers Endgame. One is the actual creation of all of the Infinity Stones. If you go by what Wong said in the beginning of Avengers Infinity War, the Infinity Stones were created by the Big Bang, and the Big Bang gave birth to the current universe. In the comics, Nemisis existed in a universe before the current one, and the shattering of herself created the 6 Infinity Stones and the Big Bang. Now, everybody in the Marvel Cinematic Universe only mentions 6 Infinity Stones, but in the comics there were actually only believed to be 6 Infinity Stones as well. Like I said, the 7th Infinity Stone was actually hidden inside of the Ultraverse and nobody knew it existed. Again, in the comics, the Ultraverse is a hidden unknown realm. Does that kind of sound familiar? It sounds like the Quantum Realm. We already know that the Quantum Realm is going to play a huge part in Avengers Endgame, but what if the reason it plays such a huge role in the movie is because it actually contains the 7th Infinity Stone inside of it somewhere? There are many characters that could know about or discover the 7th Infinity Stone, but the 7th Infinity Stone is linked to a character that could possibly be in Avengers Endgame, and that is Sersi. Sersi is an Eternal, and in the comics the Ego Stone actually takes possession of her. The Eternals movie has already been confirmed and is already in development. But there has been talk about introducing one or some of them before the movie comes out, specifically in Avengers Endgame. So what if the reason that Sersi or another Eternal gets introduced in Avengers Endgame is because they're actually possessed by the Ego Stone? And this could be the second greater threat in the movie. Again, the consciousness of Nemisis is in the 7th Infinity Stone, and Nemisis created the other Infinity Stones and the universe. So Nemisis must be aware that Thanos used 6 of the Infinity Stones to decimate half of the universe. So perhaps the only way to defeat Thanos is to reunite the 7th Infinity Stone, the Ego Stone, with the other 6 Infinity Stones and have Nemisis be reborn. Again, the Russo brothers said that we have no idea what Avengers Endgame is really about, and we know that they draw inspiration from the comics. And the 7th Infinity Stone does tie into all of the important factors and leaks that have been mentioned about Avengers Endgame, such as the Quantum Realm, the Infinity Stones of course, the greater threat, the Eternals being introduced, and the plot of Endgame being nothing that we expect. And not to mention the creation of the universe and the Infinity Stones. Omnipotent beings also do exist in the MCU. In Doctor Strange, they mention the Living Tribunal. So it's only a matter of time until we actually see them, especially since Marvel wants to go into the cosmos. So let me know what you all think about this and the 7th Infinity Stone being introduced in Avengers Endgame. Let me know in the comments down below. And again, don't forget to subscribe, comment, and like the video so you can stay up to date on everything relating to Avengers Endgame. As always, thank you all so much for watching.